Call the Public Works and Planning Committee to order. First item will be to approve minutes. Last meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I've read those and I think they're in order, and I'll move, we approve them as they were mailed.
Second.
Motion made and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, building code.
Okay, Mr. Jones is still recovering from a fairly difficult respiratory problem of some sort, but I think he's about ready to get back to work. Anyway, in the order of what there have been placed on your iPad, the first one in there is the building inspections report, and you can see that we have 211 total permits for this month in August. That was only 21 working days. That explains a little bit, I guess, some of the changes here. But last month, it was 133, and the same month last year for building was 107. And you can see that the plumbing permits are about almost exactly the same. So anyway, fairly stable and fairly steady. If you'll turn on to the next page, you can see that we had those 211 permits, and the one we usually focus on is single family permits. We had 45 in August, and that's a total of 459 for the that period of 8 months. For the same period last year, we were at 428. So we're up a little bit, as he's reported. Each time we're up slightly, so that's about 31 more permits year to date than last year. So now if you go to your next report, which is the development tax report, this is on a fiscal year basis, not a calendar year basis. So you can see this particular month, the total from building codes was $525,000, and from planning was $57,750, for a total of $582,750, which is more than almost twice what we had last time for $264,750 in July. Year to date, we're doing very, very well. $847,500 total for the 2 months. There were 230, one of the primary reasons that numbers jumped up so much is they gave me a note. There's 230 new apartments in August in this city of Murfreesboro. So if they collected the 1,500 there, then they must have, because Murfreesboro collected $470,000. $1,500 per unit would be approximately $345,000. So that's a big, big piece of it. So this is much better than last year, so we're on a good trend. But as you well know, there have been really literally hundreds and maybe a few thousand apartments in the last 12 to 18 months, either constructed or still being constructed. I'm not giving you gentlemen any time to ask any questions. If you want to ask me anything, we'll have to refer to Mr. Jones maybe. But anyway, the third report that you've got is the zoning enforcement report, and that's Ms. Criswell did give me a little cheat sheet here on this. Here you can see these total of 222 zoning enforcement cases that she addressed, but there were 3 junkyard inspections, there were 0 noise complaints, there were 35 zoning violations that were noted that were for people that needed to get building permits, vision triangles as you come in and out of subdivisions and streets, drainage, dumping, etc. There were no lien releases in August. There were 4 new liens applied, and there were 71 signs that had to be reviewed with respect to yard sales and businesses and advertising, etc. 17 new cases for the month and 26 cases closed. So there were no warrants or no citations issued. There are 2 court cases, I believe she said, in process. So, gentlemen, that's the report. a good, stable report from our building and codes department. So anything come to your mind you need to know about that we need to refer for further review?
Got anything?
I'll make a motion to approve the report as presented. Second.
Motion made and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Planning department.
Commissioners, hope you're all doing well this evening.
Thank you, Doug.
First order of business kind of dovetails along with what Mayor Burgess was talking about. It's our recorded lot inventory. The back of the second page there, you'll see our total available lot inventory stands at about 605 lots. You'll see that's down from 810 this time last year. We've pretty much seen a steady decline. I know I've said that before. I was looking at it a little closer today. It's pretty much gone down now straight for 5 months in a row. There was a little fluctuation toward the beginning of this year. There was really 1 month, I could say, probably has dropped for about 6-7 months really. There was 1 month where it went up by 1. So, and that was just as simple as a new subdivision being approved and more permits kind of offsetting that. But we are still seeing that trend going down. Now you'll notice under the not recorded list that last sheet that you have, the back of that last page, we still have over 2,100 lots somewhere in the process right now. These are lots that have been approved at least at some portion at the Planning Commission, but have not been recorded yet. So there are a lot out there. I know our engineering staff has looked at a lot of different construction drawings. There have been several pre-construction conferences that have been scheduled. One got scheduled today, actually for a new section of a subdivision on Burnt Knob Road, I believe. But that's kind of where things are right now. We're seeing more and more things get started. Eventually, we'll start seeing that number, both these numbers. We'll see the non-recorded lots go down, whereas that total lot inventory will start going up soon when we start seeing some of these sections being brought in to be recorded. So I think it's really only a matter of time before we start seeing that number fluctuate a little bit more than we have been.
Doug, these are 100% county-only lots.
These are county only, that's correct.
Non-city of town of Smyrna.
That's correct. Yes, sir. These are just unincorporated area only. If there's no other questions on that, we'll go ahead and move on to the zoning report. There's one case that will come before you at next week's meeting. This is a piece of property along Hickory Grove Road. The applicant's looking to zone this property from RM, residential medium density, to light industrial for use as a recycling center for composting activities. They've submitted some basic conceptual information that have included in your agendas. All activities going to occur within the building. Actually, the applicants came and met with us a couple of weeks back, kind of looking, at next steps. If this is approved at the county commission level, of how they would have to proceed with the site plan. It kind of showed us some more detailed schematics of what it is that they're going to be talking about. Most of the questions that the Planning Commission had really just involved the process, the amount of traffic that was going to be produced by this business. The map doesn't really show just a whole lot as far as the location of the area, but if you look at the map, you'll see there's a driveway right to the north, pretty large driveway. That's actually to an existing quarry in that area. I believe the, which one is that? Hoover, I believe, has that quarry up there. I could be wrong on that. But further down the road, there's an existing cement plant as well. Smyrna Ready Mix.
Hickory Grove then ties into Jefferson Pike?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. Right on
Thanks for
the
that.
west side of
Okay.
840. Right.
Okay. That makes it all the more appropriate.
Right. But essentially, and Mr. Kush, correct me if I'm wrong, the applicant stated they'd have somewhere between 10 and 15 trucks a day, something to that effect, and compared with the amount of traffic there from the quarry and the cement business right up the road, it was really going to be minimal compared to what's already being seen in that area. The county commissioner of that district, Mr. Jordan, was at the planning commission meeting, spoke pretty favorably of this, said that the applicants had spoken to them about what they were proposing to do. He felt it was a good location, especially considering the location of the quarry right in that area. There was really nobody that spoke at the public hearing, as I recall, and ultimately the planning commission did recommend unanimously to recommend approval of this application. So with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions. There were two other, before that, there were two other applications that were considered at the planning commission. One along Franklin Road that was recommended. Public hearing on on some property along Manchester Highway, Brenda Benz. Ultimately, after much discussion and at the public hearing, lots of people spoke on this application. The application was deferred for a minimum of 60 days. The neighborhood meeting was had. Lots of ideas tossed around, so the ball's kind of in the applicant's court at this point. But that's not going to be, neither one of those two cases will be considered at your meeting next week.
Other organic waste, I'm just curious, what kind of materials are they gonna recycle?
I think just general food wastes, things like that.
Is it a good idea to you? I mean, as far as the,
Yeah, we're looking at doing a similar type process with the city and the county schools, and I've talked to these people that called the other day asking what we had in mind, and I haven't talked in depth with them, but I think it's the directions that we need to allow people to go because we have such a disposal deficit.
I'm moving forward this to the full commission as presented.
I'll second the approval of the report.
Anybody got any more questions? All right, all in favor? Thank you, Doug.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Solid waste, come on up. Landfill man, solid waste.
How are y'all this evening?
Right.
Well, things have settled back down, summer's over, school's back in session. Everything's just rocking right along, school buses are everywhere. County landfill is running about the same as it has been. A bit of good news for us, I guess, is that we had some issues going on 2 or 3 years ago, and the state asked us, the TDEC asked us for a quarterly report of what we were doing, and they told us this month there's no need in doing one at the end of the quarter. They're satisfied with what we've been doing. So
Good. That's big.
so I thought that was a good
Yeah,
thing.
that's big.
We've had a lot of projects ongoing, all kind of at the same time, and if we're continue on track, we should finish all of them by the end of this month. We'll have the leachate sump in, we'll have the settlement pond finished and seeded and sold. And, we had leachate outbreaks that we've already corrected and tried to get the seeds on those. So we've got a lot of stuff that just kind of wrapping up, finishing up with. Basically get ready for winter. Trying to get the trash in a direction to where when the water comes to you, it goes away from you instead of coming to you, those type issues. So all that's going pretty good. Any questions on the landfill? Convenience center operation and the trucking operation is still running along quite well. We've had some unfortunate luck at the convenience center operation. We've had several older gentlemen decide that it's time for them to stay home and not work, and we had one pass away. So we've got 6 new employees in training right now, trying to gear up to send those back out. But we've not missed a beat as far as opening and keeping the centers open. Just trying to get those trained and ready to go out and do that. Our public relations young lady has been working on signage. The informational signs that she's planning on putting in the centers would be color-coded by commodity, and it would also tell you on the big sign, cardboard is brown, whatever that color is that she's chosen, and this is the cardboard we want. Then underneath it'll be the things that we don't want. Remember last month we were talking about people trying to recycle, but they contaminate it because they don't know any better. So these signs should help with that. It's going to be a pretty expensive undertaking, but it's a direction we need to go to try to get the public to understand better of what we're trying to do. The school routes have gone pretty well. The conversion on those and change them over. There's a few schools that are still struggling with it, but we're going to get through that. And other than that, I guess we're gearing up for Thanksgiving. That'll be our next big. Halloween doesn't affect us a whole lot, but Thanksgiving does. Any questions?
Your comment just a moment ago, you're getting, did you say you're getting locks on dumpsters? Did I hear you?
No, we've applied for a grant through TDEC for composting, similar to what Doug was speaking with, and it'd be the school cafeteria waste, the city of Murfreesboro's mulch facility, and then our what we pick up, we'll all go together and do that. So I put those locks in that grant funding. It's about $30,000 to buy the lock bar system and have them installed. And then there's gonna be, the price of the locks is gonna be on top of that, and that's gonna be expensive. It's 276 dumpsters in the county. Each of them would have to have 3 locks.
I noticed this school in my district, Central Magnet, had chains and padlocks.
And some of
We
the
did
schools,
that.
no, they're doing that themselves.
Are they? Okay.
The system that we're looking at is actually designed for that. The downside to those chains is, what they'll do is take the chain and go across the front of the container as the truck faces it,
Yeah.
go through the handles of the door and then up over the top. So when they do that, you can't slide the door backwards and you can't raise the lid. Well, when they undo those chains and they just hang, when the truck picks it up with those chains hanging, if the driver's not real cautious, they'll wrap around the mirror and pull the mirror off the truck. And so the lock bar system would be just actually a lock on each door, and then the bar would attach to the sides of the container and flip over on top of the lids. And the way it's designed, you can unlock it, roll it off, and raise the lid, or you can leave it locked, and when the driver picks it up and tilts it roughly a 40 to 45 degree angle, the mechanism unlocks by itself and release the lock, let it lock. From the studies that we've looked at and the concerns that we have, most of those schools, the custodial staff will come in the morning and unlock the locks. And they'll work all day, then the evening staff will come in and they'll lock them back. Any outside dumping is gonna happen before they lock them at 8 or 9 or 10 o'clock at night. The help would actually be on the weekends. You know, through the surveys we've done, most of the outside dumping is weekend trash, more so than others. What we base that on is the volume of trash from each school is really, really high on Monday and Tuesday service days, and really a lot less the rest of it. The other thing that we did is when we did our calculation, we included what volumes they currently had. So if they had outside dumping occurring, that is in their service level. So once the locks go on, then we'll try to get them to keep them locked a little bit better. If we do the food composting thing, then that container will have to stay locked, you know, because they'll contaminate that with other garbage. But we think we can get the efficiency of what we do much better just by getting a lot better control over what goes on within those school building properties. Of course, it's a change, and some of them have not appreciated the change, and a lot of them have not said a word. Some of them literally had twice the amount of service that they needed. So that's an operational cost. We did the calculation, I think it was 2 years ago. Cost us $12 and a nickel to dump a dumpster, whether it's full or empty or recycle or trash, just an operational cost. You know, so if we can reduce the number of dumpsters that we dump in a day, then that's gonna save us the money. And the other thing we're doing with them is the dumpsters that we're picking up now are gonna be really, really full instead of a bunch of half fulls. And some of that's been a change. I talked to custodian at one of the county schools. She said, I'm short, I can't reach the top of the dumpster, so when the level gets up above the bottom of the door, I can't get trash in it. I said, man, you're going to get some steps.
Yeah, maybe shop class can build her some steps.
But a lot of them have really embraced it. The new overall Creek Elementary, they have taken on the challenge, and if they are successful, so far they are, they will be the best elementary school as far as the least amount of trash and most recycle city, county-wide, all of it. And theirs is tight enough, and the race is tight enough. If you added one 8-yard dumpster and dumped it one more time a week, they would go from top to 11th.
Wow.
You know, so we've got them pretty tight.
Anybody got any other questions you need to ask?
I move that we approve his report as presented.
Second.
Motion made and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank y'all.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Mr.
Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
Highway Department don't have no report this month. And Anybody got any other business they wanna bring? Not. We have a motion to adjourn. Any-
Thank you.